but you had to go out and come back in, but it was something going on.
And while you're doing that, if you don't mind, if I could just read Psalm chapter 40, I'm only going to read a few verses.
I don't know why. Because I thought it was mine too. That's why I ain't say nothing.
I don't know what it could be then.
It didn't block anything until now, so that's why I said so. But yeah, I'm not sure.
How much is being blocked?
It's working now. It ain't up there now.
Yeah, let me know, because I thought it was your machine running out of juice or something, but something. This technology, we got to work with it. What you want to bring out?
Never mind. It can wait. I'm pretty sure Most High gonna build it up. It's Psalm chapter 40, really 1 through 10. But I was just gonna ask what if they had stance on it. But we can read it
So
later.
we're going to table who the Messiah is. Today, for the sake of time, we might not even get back to Ukraine today. I want to make sure this is clear and audible. I want to try to keep my fire down and speak slowly and clearly and bless Jesus Christ and have his way, Yahuwah, and bless Yahuwah. People learn all these. You're just like a baby. You're learning sounds and you don't know what you're saying. You're like our grandson. You're just mimicking sounds you're hearing, and you don't know what you're saying. Which caused me to. It's not their faults, family. I'm not attacking these brothers. I'm going after the father of these spirits, Hashatan. But like I was telling my wife and Shamaria last night, we are groomed to take pride in knowing something. Y'all remember being in grade school and the teacher says, who knows what 2 + 2 is? And you about to fall out your seat. Some kids did fall out their seat because they want to answer. I grew up in a generation where we would challenge you at the bus stop, but you know what 2 × 2 is. And we grew up with that old times, that multiplication chart. Remember the numbers on the left column, numbers up top. So we've been groomed to take pride in knowing something. How many people ever lied about being at a party? I'm the only one?
Yeah.
How many people ever lied about seeing a movie because you didn't want to be left out?
No.
It's like a pride thing to know something. Like you think you've been at that party.
I know people like that.
So we take pride in knowing something. And when it turns out that what we thought we knew is false, if you're not humble in the spirit of a Mashiach, you're gonna hold on to that knowledge, that false knowledge, like a dog on a bone. And here, we just let it go. If you can prove your case that what we presented is false, we're going to let it go and thank you in the name of Yahweh Shai for bringing that out. But some people can't let information go because it's a prideful thing. It's a prideful thing. So, Karash is the Hebrew letters they use to spell Cyrus' name. He's the king of Persia, right? It says the Greeks have remarked that the Persians call the sun by this name. So the Persians call the sun by Karash. So you don't know how they're using this word when it refers to Cyrus, my Messiah, right? Now we done got 3 different contexts for Karash: to bend or bow, stomach, and now the Persians use it referring to the sun. But you on your YouTube talking about Cyrus is the only time my Messiah is used in the Bible. Let's keep going.
As the opinion lately brought forward by U. Miller, that the name Karash in Isaiah does not signify the king Cyrus, but the people of Israel.
Say what?
That the name of Karash in Isaiah does not signify King Cyrus, but the people of Israel.
The people of who?
The people of Israel.
So this German, his initials is U, Mueller. He wrote a book in Spanish, De Authentica or Oraculum, whatever, of Isaiah. And this book was written in 1825. I couldn't find it. Y'all know I was digging for this book for y'all. And I was going to use Google Translate for y'all because my Spanish is a little asi-asi. I was shot, know what I'm saying. My Spanish is a little asi-asi right now. So. My Spanish is a little so-so. But this man, Mueller, in this book, I guess his commentary on Isaiah, in 1825, he says that the name Karash in Isaiah 45 does not signify King Cyrus, but the people of Israel. And then it gives you an example in the parentheses there. It's saying kashar, uprightness. It's saying that the Hebrew word karash has a cognate. Anybody understand what I'm saying when I say cognate? Cognate means a related sound or word. So he's saying that the Hebrew word karash that y'all are thinking is talking about Cyrus, it has a cognate down at the bottom here, kashar, kashar, and kashar for us means uprightness. What other word means upright for us?
Upright, you said?
What other word, the book apocryphal book, we know? The book of the upright. The book of the upright. It sounds like a man's name. Yashar. So Yashar, Karash, and Kashar down here in the Hebrew tongue, in our native tongue, not this Yiddish crap and these Greco-Roman vowels, these people, Baruch Hashem and Biyet, that's garbage. Shalom Aleichem is garbage. If that's what you speak, no disrespect, it's garbage, it's adulteration, it's idolatry, it's abomination. We have related words in Hebrew. Karash, Yashar, and Kashar are cognates, related sounds in Hebrew, and it means uprightness. Now, I'm not sure why this German says at the end here, he says, it is needless to do more than mention that. I'm not sure what he meant by that. But y'all know how they say in their society, majority rules? When it comes to our language and our culture, majority don't rule. All the prophets that were killed by other Israelites, they were the minorities. So majority don't rule. But for some reason, for some strange reason, I thought of Nariah when I read this. I thought of Nariah and his sharp, keen eye for noticing things. So this man, Mueller, I guess I didn't have time to really do extensive research, but I guess I'm taking liberty here. I guess he said it is needless to do more than mentioning it. I'm imagining that Genesius is saying that it's not worth researching deeper if that Cyrus is referring to the people of Israel. So I guess if it's not popular, it's not worthy or worth investigating. I think that's what Genesius is saying here. Or y'all reading something different? I don't want to indoctrinate anyone. He says, let's read it from the top. As to the opinion lately brought forward by Mueller in his book there in 1825, this Mueller is saying that the name Karash in Isaiah does not signify the King Cyrus, but the people of Israel. And then he says, it is needless to do more than mention it. Like, what do y'all think he's trying to say?
It's not that.
Pretty self-explanatory. That's pretty much.
He says it's like not worth.
It's not worth going any deeper into it.
There's no need.
It's needless.
There's no need to do
A needless
more
subject.
study because that is pretty much right in your face.
Well, he's saying that it's I'll mention it, but we don't need to dig further into it.
Yeah.
That's sound pride. I don't want to push my position on y'all. Anybody online seeing this statement differently? Because to us, it seemed like he's saying there's no need to talk about it further. I mentioned it, and that's enough.
To me, yeah, I see it because to me now I'm thinking we familiar with that text, and everybody always bring that up because he referred to Cyrus as his anointed. He prophesied him before. Do we have any history of anything to show that Cyrus was not a Persian? Like, or was he actually a Persian? Was Cyrus like a Hebrew in any sense? Was he a convert in any sense? That anybody got any history to show? Like, what did he do other than conquer Babylon for them to go back to their land? That's my first question before I go to say what I gotta say. Do anybody know of anything historically that Cyrus did as far as like conversion or anything?
Church says that he comes from a line of kings, and it lists his father, I think his grandfather, and so he's a royal. He's come from a royal line of Persian rulers.
Of Persians, but yet another nation, right?
Right.
So I say that to say, first of all, this whole little argument about my anointed or Cyrus being a Mashiach in the same sense of Hebrews, people are considered anointed Mashiachs. Did any priest or anybody anoint Cyrus with oil or anything like that?
Girl, you indoctrinated, bro. You been listening to the Torah Group,
Like,
bro.
no, nobody has done anything like that to Cyrus. So out the gate, not understanding how an anointing took place out the gate, you know that anointing don't mean the same thing as what it would mean to a Hebrew. The other thing is that completely contradicts Romans chapter 9, 1 through 5, because that clearly states that all of these things, the promise, the adoption, the prophets, all of that stuff belongs to Israel, my brothers in the flesh. So if these Christian apologists or these people, if they believe the whole text, if they believe, even if they don't believe the Apocrypha and they believe Genesis through Revelations, then that whole little argument that they're trying to make that you're going into right now contradicts Romans 9. This dude is of the nations. He's not a Hebrew. So why would he be the Most High's anointed? That the context of that is clearly saying this is the one I chose. I'm telling you the king that I'm going to use
The other
to
Oh, he's on the road. Let him go.
Go ahead.
I mean that's clearly what it's saying. Like I mean I'm sitting right here thinking like what I'm saying the same thing. What's the point? What's the point to go any further to debate these guys? Because clearly they don't even understand that. That's basic.
Well, let me be clear. We don't debate. Torah Group don't debate. I don't debate. I'm just trying to help them and help others. To me, I don't debate because I take the words of Messiah over his apostles. There are some apostles who say contend for the faith, and Paul says if someone brings you another Yahushua, you do well to bear with them. So some brothers run to those verses to say this is why we debate people, and I run to my king's words, and he says if they receive not your report, shake the dust off. So that's why I just want to put that out there. I don't debate. I'm trying to help these brothers and help those who've been seduced by this spirit of Satan, telling people that Cyrus is the anointed one, and Cyrus is the only one ever called the anointed one. So, but Gerald, I wish we had sound effects in here or a bomb, because y'all heard that brother. He was so. Did y'all hear him? I done watched it a couple of times. So he says, let me jump in here. When I said y'all asked the question, he was gun happy, wasn't he? He was trigger happy. He said, let me jump in here. And then he eloquently say, Messiah, Mashiach just means in the Hebrew, anointed with oil. So you know it means anointed with oil. And like Gerald just said, do you have a resource that show where one of the priests anointed him? Do you have a resource that says one of the angels, Malachi, came and anointed him? So you're cutting your own self with your misunderstanding, because you are, I call them male groupies. You know, we say a lot of women become groupies, but what I'm seeing in this Hebrew awakening, and it's mostly Christian men. I'm just going to listen, this is who I am. Most of these men who were raised in the church, they are groupies. They're easily starstruck. Oh, Pastor Jones is coming to town. I'm taking on work. So you got a lot of men who are groupies. We're not groupies here, family. Don't you ever put me on no pedestal. I'm your brother. I'm your soldier in arms. I'm on the front line with you. That means you verify and you do the work I'm doing. If you find out I got it wrong, it's your obligation to come back to me and tell me I broke that down wrong. We ain't going to challenge each other like you don't know what you're talking about. It's for the nation. So we got a lot of male groupies going on in the community. It's coming from these brothers who coming out to church, really, I see. Like, that's just that's my opinion. I don't have no Torah on that. So we have this one lone wolf we have this one maverick. We got this one maverick. That's a shout out to my grandson. We got this one maverick that's saying,
He like, don't associate with that.
we don't want my grandson to associate. But we got this one maverick historian saying, listen, buddies, my colleagues, this word karash in Isaiah is not talking about Cyrus, it's talking about the Hebrew people. But he's by himself, he don't have the numbers. The Torah Group, we don't have the numbers either, do we, babe? Well, we vacillate between what? 12? COVID came, we was down to me, you, and Sister Angela. Three. So these people are coming from Christianity where they respect numbers. Oh, he got a big following. He's syndicated. His last video got 1 million views. Oh, they got assemblies all over. That's Christian dog when you're still sucked into. I'm not going with the numbers. When the Most High called Gideon, he told Gideon, you still got too many people. Take the brothers down to the river and only choose those who bend down and lap like a dog. That's what we need. So I ain't looking for no fancy suit wearing, fringes wearing, and I speak the Maranetri and all. Bring me those ones who want to get dirty. Oh, I can't do this, help you today, Marie. I got my new shoes on. You're not ready. So, just to recap, because we had a lot of sidebar, we get excited. Gerald just took us somewhere, and Gerald just destroyed these people with his own statement. You're saying you understand that Messiah means to be anointed with oil, and you think Cyrus has been anointed, but can you find me a text that says someone put oil on him? Again, you don't understand the glyphs, because our glyphs means, Mashiach means you've been separated for a purpose. So if you knew the glyphs, you could have passed Cyrus off as being anointed. But by your definition, you're saying anointing means to have oil smeared on you. So your own definition cuts what you're saying about Cyrus being anointed. Now, our definition, the glyphs, we could say Cyrus was anointed because he's been separated for a job to free the Israelites. But wait, we're not saying that. I'm just saying if you use the glyphs, you could have got away with it.
Looking at this word Hamashiach reminds me of the book of Nehemiah. Now, before they started doing work on the temple, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong.
But we will.
Did they not repair the breach of the fence or the wall first? So when I look at this word Hamashiach, I know Ha is a prefix. But every time I see it in this particular word,
I see it.
Let him go.
So it's the spirit that the power has separated you for the work of the tabernacle.
Rebuilding it.
What I see,
Hold, because I got something for you. The tents of David has fallen, and I will rebuild the tabernacle of David.
right? The people joining together to build the wall. That's why I say that's how the like as soon as he started talking, I was doing like this. I said, I got it, and that's just how it's most.
You see the power in these glyphs?
That's all.
You got the Christian apologists saying what we were saying. Now you got some Hebrews thinking they're speaking Hebrew. You're speaking abomination. These glyphs bring out what? Man, come on, man. Come on, man. These glyphs bring it, and then who repaired the nation for us? Who got the nation back in right standing with Yah? Yahweh. So again, you're just listen to these people talk. You're proving to me that you don't know the Bible, you don't know the culture. And not to be snobbish, but I told Queen and Shemoya last night, and I tell y'all here, just so you're gonna eventually get here, you're gonna realize you really can't have a conversation with people who don't know the culture. There's no point in talking to these people. Like I'm listening to Christians like, I know his name Jesus because it's right here in the Bible. Okay, ain't no sense in me.
I've been there.
Ain't no sense in me trying to talk to you. This man says, I know his name is Jesus because it's right here in the Bible. I was like, man, listen. Bye, Felicia. And y'all gonna get to that point. As y'all keep growing, you're gonna see there ain't no point trying to correct that person or bring it. They're nowhere near ready. So use wisdom, family. That was a great breakdown on Hamashiach. So here's the cognate or related word to kashar. Kashar is the word, or I'm sorry, karash is the word in Hebrew that they think is for Cyrus' name. And this other historian, Mueller, is saying that no, that karash in Isaiah 45 is not saying Cyrus, it's talking about the people of Israel. And then this is the related word. This is kashar. Kashar, and again, for those of you still learning, we start on the right side of the word. So start with that character that looks like a backward C and has a dot in between it. That dot is alliteration. We don't use this system. I'm just letting you know where I'm starting at. So that character that looks like a backward C, that's the ka sound. That W-looking character, that's the sharp, the sha sound. And that third character looks like a backwards R, it is a ra sound. So this word is kashar, right? And it's saying that kashar in the Hebrew means to be right. Like the cognate root, ashar and yashar. The book of Yasher. So that's what he's bringing out with this related word. But these online super guru Torah master Torah teachers, you don't know the real language, so you don't know the culture, so you don't know Karash is not pointing to Cyrus, it's pointing to the upright ones. It's pointing to the righteous ones, and we're going to bring this out. So it continues on to be right before the king, i.e., it would please the king. Usage number 2, to prosper, to succeed. Hence, use of a seed. Hence, use of a seed to sprout. That just bring anything in your mind? Use of a seed and to sprout. What seed is always mentioned in the text, y'all?
Israel.
And then what does Isaiah 44, when you read that, they should spring up as the water courses, and one should say that I am the Most High's. So the related word of Karash and Kashar and Yashar is pointing to the seed of Israel. But you don't know this because you speak Yiddish. But you got shades on and buy my class for $49.99. If you register now, you get a discount. It's $4.50. And you got people being starstruck like, wow, he deep. He wrote a book too, and he can speak the hieroglyphs. That's abomination. That's the language of a pagan deity. And you probably you can speak the Marinetra. Look up the Marinetra, family. It's an Egyptian god. The language is called after their Egyptian god. What did the Most High say about his people?
Don't speak their name.
I don't want you to mention the other god's name in your mouth, but you don't went and studied the Marinetra. Now take my class for $4.99. Not $4, $4.99. So my brother, so my little cousin a Christmas class for $30. Y'all said, I paid the brother.
Salakia. Unless you got some research to bring out what it really meant pertaining to that verse, I'm starting to feel like that verse need to be another question mark, because it would seem now that that verse talking about Cyrus would play into the agenda of trying to show how that whole Gentile Christ is for everybody, Christ came for everybody. Look, the Most High from the beginning always, you know what I'm saying, dealt with the nations. You know, look, Cyrus wasn't an Israelite, and he called him his anointed. You know, it just seems like that plays into that agenda now when you think about it.
Well, you start attacking that. You must be over there on that, what's that movie where he had the pills and made him limitless. You're over there on that limitless pill.
I mean, I ain't the only one. I mean, right? I mean, because it's like it just don't make sense no more. That verse don't make sense no more when you really think about it.
I brought it out yesterday on prayer, at the 12 o'clock prayer, that Isaiah 45 is corrupt, and we're going to go into it. Isaiah 45 is corrupt. So Right now in my Septuagint, I got 56, but I gotta add the 2. I think Yasha brought out 2 more from in the Telegram that I didn't write. So I think we're close to 60 adulterations in the King James Bible that's totally adulterates the true meaning of the verse.
Could you go back just one slide real quick?
And that's why while we're going back, all these debates I hear from Hebrew Israelites and apologists, none of them bring into some of them touch on it. They say the word, but then they don't apply the word. And that's what we're going to get into textual criticism. Textual criticism is a little $10 English seminary term, but you and I, it's inherited.
This whole thing.
It's inherited. Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it. So they don't apply textual criticism to the text, and you don't learn the original Hebrew. So now you're way off in left field talking about Cyrus is the only one called Messiah in the Hebrew Bible. And now you're teaching classes, and now you are more ready. Here's my cash app if you want to support my ministry. You on the highway to hell. What do I support you for? You gotta deal with them. I gotta be civil and try to reach these brothers, but then you get puffed up because your online superhero has been crushed. Now you want to get your feelings hurt and get your panties all tight. I'm not the one, because I'm not the social media guy. But we're gonna keep this civil in the spirit of Hamashiach. But what the Hamashiach says, those who don't want me to rule over them, what did he say, dude?
Luke 19, and those mine enemies, slay them before me.
Luke 19 and 27. And those who would not that I rule over them, bring them before me and kill them.
I was hoping you was gonna bring that out earlier.
So I say, y'all and your buddies and all your little colleagues, you're gonna be killed if you stay in this false doctrine. That's why we're coming at you directly, trying to love you back to Hamashiach. So are you done with this slide? So the related word of Karash that they're using for Cyrus' name, it has Hebrew related words pointing to prosper, to succeed, and hence related to a seed sprouting. In this Bible, from cover to cover, the only seed that the Most High is concerned with sprouting is the seed of Abraham. But wait, there's more. So let's go to Esther 5. Well, it's right on the screen. Because I want to take my time and give you receipts and witnesses. I don't want you trusting me. I don't want you to repeat anything we go over and you ain't go home and verify it. Our classes go from 2 to 3 hours because the Most High be giving y'all stuff. So the most you can do after you watch someone's presentation is to thank them for the information. When I see people, you just was part of this man's presentation and you just reshared the presentation. You ain't vet nothing he said. You ain't gonna get the resources. Now you done reshare this man's class. You guys be Bereans, take your time. If this information is new to you, if the material is new to you, just vet it. Make sure it's sound. And then if you agree with it, post it. I'm not offended if you guys don't see it my way. Help me see it and get it right for the nation. We're about the nation. We ain't about no assembly. We ain't about no man. We're about the nation. So